Now, we know how it goes every year in NBA free agency. You've got those deals that you look at, and you're like, who in the bluest of blue fucks thought this was a good idea? That is way too damn much over way too damn many. Now, I will say this offseason, this free agency period, hasn't been as bad in terms of the big money to bad players. That's in part because you had some teams trying to lock up their own guys, such as Houston with Chris Paul and potentially Clint Capella. You have a guy like LeBron James hit the open market. Paul George stays in Oklahoma City for massive money. So you had fewer teams with a lot of salary cap space, combined with a lot of the marquee players staying put, and apparently only one team being a really serious contender for LeBron anyways. It leads to kind of a soft and depressed market, especially knowing that more teams are going to have a lot more salary cap space come next year, and next year's free agent class is looking much, much stronger. It's not a surprise to see teams be a little more disciplined, a little more restrained, a little more conservative in their spending this offseason. Mercifully, thank God. But even then and still, the occasional blip of stupidity pops up on the radar every once in a while. And I'm still trying to figure out for the life of me how some team, the Indiana Pacers, determined that Doug McDermott was worth $22 damn million over the next 3 years. That's right, Doug McDermott, a middle-of-the-bench rotation guy who can occasionally hit some threes, and that's about it, is getting $22 million guaranteed over the next 3 years if he's so inclined. So apparently, let me get this straight now. The Indiana Pacers, who pushed LeBron and the Cavaliers to the brink in the opening round of the playoffs, they went 7 games and damn really should have won that series. Those Indiana Pacers determined with some of the salary cap space that they had, that they felt it was going to be a good idea to use it on freaking Doug McDermott. All the while, Lance Stevenson, you let go to Los Angeles to play with LeBron, and he gets 1 year and $4.5 million. Who in the hell would you rather have? Doug McDermott, who occasionally hits some shots and that's it? Or Lance Stevenson for a couple million less for 1 year? Doesn't seem like a very difficult question to answer, does it? I think you probably go Lance Stevenson more often than not. I understand the importance of the three-point shot in today's NBA. And I understand for some of these teams, you got to spend that money somewhere. But you would think if you're going to spend that money somewhere, you would spend it wiser than on guys like Doug McDermott, who are going to give you about 8 points a game through 20 minutes a game. Won't even be on the floor half the damn game. You're damn near paying him $1 million per point per game over the course of a season. Now, that's one thing. If a guy averages 25 points a game and you pay him $25 million, then he's a star, if not a super mega star, and a franchise player. Cool. You make that money back more than you can imagine. But Doug McDermott's not making you any money. Doug McDermott's not moving the needle. Doug McDermott's not winning you any games when it matters. What in the hell possesses a team like the Indiana Pacers to not only give Doug McDermott over $7 million a year, bordering on $8 million a year, but then to do it for multiple years? It's one thing if they brought in Doug McDermott for 1 year, $8 million. Okay, stupid amount of money to pay to a limited player who really only does one thing, but it's only 1 year. And you can potentially get out from under it that following season. But not the Pacers. They feel like the move that's going to help move the needle is Doug McDermott. Am I nuts? Am I taking crazy pills here? Or is this just another example of an NBA team not being able to help themselves? It's like the little kid that gets a $20 bill from grandma and grandpa at Christmas, and come December 26th, they can't wait to blow it on a bunch of stupid crap that they'll break and or forget about in the damn month. NBA teams have got to learn to stop it. Pace yourselves. If you don't have to spend the money, don't. And if you feel so inclined to do so, At least make sure it's on somebody worthwhile, not Doug McDermott!